Good evening, Tallahassee, and thanks for tuning in to this special edition of For FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Jordan Frazier.
And I'm student meteorologist Sammy Squires. We do have a special episode for you today of a two-man team.
Yes, this Valentine's Day, it is Wednesday, February 14th, 2018, and we still have a lot to talk about on today's show, especially weather-wise. Let's start off. How was today?
I mean, it was pretty cloudy outside most of the day.
Yes.
I was walking to and from class, and fairly nice out, though. I mean,
yes.
I'll take it.
Temperature-wise, it has been very cool lately. We're in the mid-70s, and we expect that to persist throughout the next week. It is going to rise, though, maybe even hitting some lower 80s, as we see in our forecast later on today.
We are still above average, though.
Yes.
It's nice for winter in Tallahassee.
Yes, especially considering how cold it was at the very beginning of this winter. But these cloudy conditions are actually going to persist throughout the entire week, and even a couple of rain chances sitting in. So what you see behind us is exactly what you're going to see for the next week, sadly. So get used to it. That's
Well, we do have warmer temperatures, though. I mean, in maybe 75, 78, we'll see some warmer temperatures coming in, which is...
Yeah, so you want to start bringing out those spring clothes, even some summer clothes, too, because, well, Florida, it's always summer.
We have plenty of games to talk about, too, and plenty of other cool Valentine's Day events. But for now, I am going to take a look out at the wall, and we are going to start off by looking at these weather headlines. So, like we were talking about, we have cloudy conditions, and they are going to be persisting, and maybe even that small rain chance sneaking its way in, and like we also said, warming up to the 80s hopefully. Our current conditions right now in Tallahassee around 72 degrees. As we go further down into Florida, you can see plenty of sun over in Orlando. Say hi to our Disney friends over there. But by the coast, they are feeling a little cooler, 66, 63 degrees. Pretty cloudy throughout the majority of Florida, though. And you could see some of these clouds kind of making its way in. Part of that is because of that frontal system above us, but we may see chances of rain making its way through. So for tonight's forecast, we will see temperatures around 58 degrees overnight. Kind of chilly outside, you may need a jacket, but it will be mostly cloudy and maybe even a calm wind, but nothing to worry about, though. In our almanac for today, we hit a high of 72 degrees, fairly pleasant outside, and right above the average. And that low is much higher than that low, 57 degrees, where that average is 42, so I will gladly take that 57 over that 42 degrees. So we woke up this morning with that low of 57 degrees right around our Tallahassee Bend, making its way into Perry, which is also 57 degrees. But for now, we are going to take a look out at the desk with Jordan.
Thanks so much, Sammy. Right now, we're actually going to talk about today in weather history. Let's talk about what happened in past Valentine's Days. The first one on the list is 1899. A great blizzard struck the eastern U.S. Washington, D.C. area, and they received 20.5 inches of snow to bring their total snow depth up to 3 feet. That is a lot of snow, and because they probably didn't have a lot of those machines like our snowplows that we do today, it might have been very hard to get around, especially when they probably didn't even have heaters way back then. The storm itself produced over 36 inches of snow in Cape May, New Jersey alone that day. So that is absolutely crazy. Another blizzard for you on our list. In 1940, a St. Valentine's Day blizzard, perfect name for it, hit the northeastern U.S. and up to 1.5 feet of snow blanketed southern New England, and whole gales accompanied with heavy snow stranded many in downtown Boston. So a lot of those gales, that's very like almost hurricane force winds that are experienced throughout these blizzards. So they can especially bring the wind chill down well below freezing and make it even possible just to get cold frostbite just from walking it right outside. So you want to be careful with that. In 1987, another powerful storm spawned severe thunderstorms in Texas and Oklahoma and produced heavy snow in the Rocky Mountain region. So lots of blizzards, especially around Valentine's Day. Snowfall totals in Colorado ranged up to 27 inches that day, and straight line winds gusted up to 104 miles per hour. Again, those amazing wind speeds that these blizzards can produce is absolutely crazy, and that was in the Guadalupe Pass out in West Texas. We won't have to worry about a lot of snow where we are right now as I take a look out at the current conditions. Today we're going to start off with the almanac. We are quite above average right now. Today we actually didn't get too far above average. We only hit our high at about 72 degrees. This morning we woke up, it was 57 degrees. That is very far above our average, and that is due to a large amount of our cloud cover we've been experiencing over the past couple of days, and we will see again for the next coming week or so. We are going to start to get a little bit closer to those record temperatures, though. Our record of 86 back in 1932. We are going to start to see even some mid-80s pop out. I'll show you when I get to our 7-day later on. How we woke up around the Big Bend, very consistent temperatures, 57 in Tallahassee, Quincy, Marianna, and Perry. We start to see a little bit of cooler temperatures as you head farther north. Valdosta 52, Thomasville 54, and a little bit warmer by the coast as always because of that water. Apalachicola is sitting at a comfortable 61 degrees. Right now we are seeing overcast skies and cool 72-degree temperatures. That dew point and humidity is a little bit high though, so you are going to start to feel those muggy conditions, so be sure to dress accordingly for that. And that wind is very weak south at about 3 miles per hour, so these clouds are going to stick around for quite the time. And you are going to feel that icky sticky conditions outside. Current temperatures around the Big Bend very similar throughout much of our region. As you head north, you start to see those 60s popping out. Valdosta and Thomasville at 66, Perry at 73, and St. Mark 68. Apalachicola at 62 degrees and Carabel at 63, so nice and cool by the coast right now. Here's our dew points, so very moist across much of our region. We are seeing those dew points in the mid to lower 60s. And what does that mean? We are sitting in the moderate range for our dew point scale. We are kind of used to that because Florida is very moist with all that, all the oceans bringing in a lot of the sea breeze, which I will point out in our wind map later on. Here's that upper level water vapor, all these clouds blanketing much of the southeast, bringing a lot of the stormy conditions to our northern regions, are going to sit over our area and continue to leave these clouds right over us. A lot of this wind is very weak, but it is fueling it from the Gulf of Mexico, providing a lot of more clouds to cover up our area. And it will increase our rain chances later on. We won't have to worry about rain chances right now. Notice how Doppler radar is nice and clear, and it should remain clear for the next coming days. As I zoom out on the radar, you will start to see, especially a lot of those couple of spotty showers just to our north, out in northern Georgia and northern Alabama, will not affect us at all over the next coming days. Watches and warnings, a lot of flood warnings, especially associated with the rivers, the Apalachicola River right there, as well as farther westward, and that is because of the rain conditions they experienced over the long period of time, starting from last week. Right now we have a stationary front just to the south of us, and we have this high pressure system guarding us from all those rains and thunderstorms just to our north. So this will stick around, but it will keep our cloud cover nice and covered for much of the week. Boating forecast, you will experience a light chop and the winds will not be very strong, as well as the waves as well, but you will experience just cloudy conditions. Tonight, 58 degrees, mostly cloudy skies with a calm wind. You will start to see tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. Again, we will see warmer temperatures though at about 78 degrees. Over the next coming week, over the next 5 days, you will start to see those temperatures go up and those rain chances will go up. What about the rest of the southeast, Sammy?
Well, the southeast is persisting of conditions similar to what we are experiencing here in Tallahassee. Pretty cloudy. I mean, there are some rain chances, like you said, above us, but this will consist throughout the next few days in our area. So these temperatures right now are anywhere from about 57 over in Little Rock all the way down to 78 degrees in Miami. They're feeling nice and warm right now. But our humidity is feeling very, very warm. Like, look at that over in Little Rock. They are experiencing those clouds, maybe even some rain right now, while we are just at 76%. So where those cloudy conditions are persisting. So I don't know if you've noticed if it's gotten a little warmer, but it has indeed gotten warmer, 6 degrees warmer throughout the last 24 hours. So a little bit of a warm up, but nothing like Little Rock and Tupelo. They are experiencing 11 to 16 degrees warmer, and even Shreveport over at the edge of Louisiana, they are 28 degrees warmer. They are feeling nice and warm, whereas the lower half of Florida is feeling a little cooler, a little around what they were feeling yesterday. So our winds are mainly coming from the east. You could see kind of that clockwise flow, which is associated with that high pressure. But here in Tallahassee, we have just a light wind coming from the Gulf. And even in New Orleans, they are experiencing some of that flow right now too, making it just feel a little windy. So that radar is showing some of that cloud coverage coming through our area, but most of the rain band is up here over in Tupelo, where they are seeing some of that rain, while we are just seeing those clouds. But our warnings consist of that rain making its way through. So all of these little green patches, that is flood warning. So if you are along Apalachicola, you are experiencing those rain chances. So be careful if you are going out in the car, and watch out for those flood continuing. So with this rain, we are seeing a little bit of some wetter soil, but we are still in that drought consisting throughout much of our southeast area. So hopefully we get to see that start to transition a little bit. But for tonight's forecast, we are going to be around 58 degrees and pretty pleasant throughout the majority of your southeast, all the way down to Miami and Key West. They are very warm, around 70, 73 degrees. But for now, we are going to take a look back at the desk. And Jordan, what are we talking about?
We're going to actually talk a little bit about what today is. Today's Valentine's Day.
Today is Valentine's Day.
Is that why you're wearing pink?
That is why I'm wearing pink, and it's Wednesday. Of course, you got to wear pink on Wednesdays.
Yes, I have actually not seen that movie, but it is on my watch list.
Oh, you have to go watch it.
Yes.
Kind of a chick flick, but today is Valentine's Day, so may as well embrace
exactly.
your Wednesday, I guess.
I don't have too much in terms of Valentine's Day clothes. I just have this red tie, which I thought would be appropriate. So
that's okay. Anything
perfect.
goes for this Valentine's Day. I mean, there is only 2 of us, but it's okay.
Yeah,
we're managing.
A lot of people usually experience a lot of snow on Valentine's Day. That is certainly not the case here. We have a lot of cloud cover, but it's well above our average temperatures, especially.
We do not have any precipitation. No. But we are quite warm compared to, I know when I was younger, so I grew up in Ohio, and actually I remember having a snow day one year on Valentine's Day. I think we were about a foot or so deep in that snow.
Wow.
So it was very chilly. I think we had 2 days off, so we do have some of that history you were talking about of a lot of winter conditions.
No, I usually don't experience too many winter conditions. My family is from Pennsylvania, but I'm myself in my native Floridian, so this is about the farthest north I usually go. So not too much in terms of snow, which we did have a little bit earlier this year, which was kind of nice to experience, but not anytime soon, especially probably even for the rest of the season. We don't expect any significant cool downs. Let me go ahead and take it out to a more national look. Right now, we are experiencing a big warm-up throughout much of the country. As a matter of fact, you're starting to see those mid to upper 70s encompassing much of the south of our nation. 72 in Tallahassee to start off first, 78 Miami. As we head off a little bit farther west, we are going to see 76 New Orleans, 76 Dallas, and now we're starting to cool off a little bit as we head west into the deserts. Albuquerque at 58, 56 in Phoenix, and 57 in San Francisco. Even to our north, a lot of those snowy conditions have certainly gone away as they are quite above freezing right now. Our coldest on the map is going to be Detroit at 39 and Billings at 38 degrees. Water vapor, you are going to see this big plume of moisture encompassing much of the southeast, southwest area of our nation, and this is where a lot of the storms are going to be associated. We have a high pressure system right here, and it's fueling a lot of the winds from the Gulf of Mexico and just adding to this moisture. It will not bring us any kind of precipitation so much over the next couple of days, but it will bring us a lot of cloud cover. It's also warmed up much of the nation as well, as you can see with this 24-hour temperature change. Dallas experiencing a 30-degree temperature difference from this time yesterday, so certainly much warmer than yesterday. So there's that high pressure, and there's that stationary front right below it. All that rain right there, nothing too severe, as a matter of fact, just a lot of stormy conditions. And you have this next low pressure right over here with that stationary front. A couple of showers just to the southwest, not too much to worry about though. You are starting to see a couple of snowy conditions in our northwest, and that is to be expected this time of year. As we head to a closer look at the southeast, there's those southeast showers and there's those clouds that are going to start to move into our region. As we head farther north, you start to see a lot of those showers starting to actually decrease in strength, so we won't expect too much to worry about over the next coming days about that. Let's look at our coloring book. I call it our coloring book because watches, warnings, and advisories, there's a lot there, and there's a lot of colors that you need to know. So let's step off for a minute. Let's go through those light greens that you see in South Florida. Those are going to, or I'm sorry, out in the southeast, those are going to be flood warnings, and that is due to a lot of the rain conditions that they've been experiencing as those rivers are starting to fill up. And there's more rain conditions out in DC area, and that is due to the cloudy conditions from earlier. Here up into the northwest, we start to have a couple of winter storm warnings as well as blizzard warnings. And you also start to see a lot of those dry conditions as well associated with those weather conditions. Airport delays, not much to talk about, as a matter of fact. It looks like our entire nation is clear of airport delays, so grandma should be coming in any minute now. Tonight's forecast, we are going to start to see cooler conditions, 58 in Tallahassee, 58 Atlanta, but very much moderate over much of the southeast, even heading into the Midwest. As you head up to the northeast, you will start to see cooler conditions, Boston 38, Detroit at 37. Tomorrow you will start to see much of the same, actually, much warmer conditions, as a matter of fact, starting to hit those 80s, as you will see. Sammy, what do you have for us back at the desk?
Okay, thank you, Jordan. So we are not talking about warmer conditions. We are talking about Pyeongchang, which is actually pretty chilly out right now. They're sitting at a high of around 33 degrees out right now, but this is home of the Winter Olympics for us. So the Winter Olympics consist of events including cross-country skiing, we have ice hockey, figure skating, speed skating, snowboarding. I know you are probably watching your favorite events, but they are actually experiencing these snowier conditions, but they're actually not having any precipitation. So a lot of this snow is actually man-made. So it's actually from a company in Michigan that is making this snow, and it is the water from the snow being made, it's around 2,250 gallons. That is a lot of water. So 98% of these slopes are actually man-made snow. So we have not much snow coming through that area, but the winds are actually making it feel very chilly out. There was a gust today, the 14th, around 50 miles per hour. So they are making, so that is making the conditions feel much colder than it actually is. But good news is no snow in the forecast to come until the end of the Olympics, which is the 25th of February. So we have about a full 10 days left for our athletes to compete. But hopefully not as cold as we have been, or the athletes have been experiencing. Temperatures throughout the following week are going to go up to maybe even into the mid-40s. I guess we'll find out, but root for your favorite athletes in all of snowboarding and John White to come. I guess we'll find out. But for now, I'm gonna take a look around Florida. So we are seeing pretty nice conditions throughout the majority of Florida. 72 in Tallahassee, making its way all the way down to 82 in Fort Myers. That's where my grandma is, so hi grandma. Our temperatures throughout the majority of Florida, though, are experiencing very warm conditions. 73 and sunny over in Orlando, but it is fairly cloudy throughout the majority of your Florida area. Our dew point, though, is experiencing that higher temperature, so 62 all the way to 64 in Tallahassee, making its way down to 66 in Key West. So what that actually means is we are in that moderate range, so above comfortable but not quite oppressive, so it is actually feeling pretty nice outside. So we can see this water vapor, that dry air is kind of moving its way out, and we have that the moist air moving its way through our area, and that is with all that cloud coverage. And this is our cloud coverage that we are seeing right now. Pretty much above us, you can start to see that the front above us creeping its way in, but those rain chances won't persist until the next few days. We will start to see maybe spotty conditions. But our wind is seeing those coming from the Gulf. We have just light winds coming out through our area into Pensacola, 8 miles per hour. But that is the extent of the wind, so no one is really feeling very windy out. But our radar is showing just those spotty conditions moving its way through into Thursday and into Friday, where we will see those spotty conditions making its way through into Tallahassee. But tonight's forecast, we are going to see temperatures around 58 in Tallahassee, 60 in Pensacola. They are actually feeling a little bit warmer than us, but making its way down south, we are experiencing temperatures high 60s, low 70s in Miami, making it feel a very warm night out for tonight for your Valentine's Day festivities. But for tomorrow's forecast, we are seeing similar cloudy conditions for tomorrow. Sorry about that. And 76 degrees over in Pensacola, making its way to plenty of sun over in Fort Myers, West Palm Beach, Miami. They're warming up to even 85 degrees. That is very warm. So they are definitely feeling it. But now we're going to take it back to the desk with Jordan.
Thanks so much, Sammy. As a matter of fact, we're actually going to start talking about some sports. And if you are already sick and tired of football, don't worry, it's coming back. Right now we have the FSU spring football game is now set for April 14th. FSU Athletics released this a few weeks ago, as a matter of fact. Fans will get their first look at the Florida State football team under the new head coach Willie Taggart on April 14th with the SunTrust Garnet and Gold spring football game presented by Kia at 6 p.m. in Doak Campbell Stadium. So perfect primetime game if you want to head over to that. The spring game this weekend, that weekend, will feature a throwback theme with elements that pay homage to some of the great eras of FSU football. A number of tributes are scheduled throughout the weekend, and fans are encouraged to join the retro spirit with their game day gear. So perfect if you want to do a Throwback Thursday kind of idea. That would be just perfect for that. One highlight of the weekend is that the Florida State football alumni game will be played at halftime with many familiar names and faces along with some surprises returning to play on the Bobby Bowden Field once again. Following the game, which you would certainly want to stay for after this if you're a fan of definitely Throwback Thursdays, the I Love 90s tour will stop in Tallahassee for an in-stadium concert with Salt and Pepper, Vanilla Ice, and Broad Bass to continue the throwback theme. The post-game celebration includes fireworks after the concert as well, so that sounds like a lot of fun. Tickets for the game are just only $10, so I would certainly recommend going to do that. Sammy, do you have a closer look at what's happening locally around here weather-wise?
Yes, we do. This is our last local of the night, and today's high temperatures reached up to 72 degrees, fairly comfortable outside, but all the way into Perry, they experienced temperatures around 76 degrees, and those are like similar temperatures that we will be experiencing tomorrow. But our current conditions right now consist of overcast. It is 72 degrees out. That dew point and humidity are kind of higher, around 64-76%. Making it feel kind of moist outside. But our current temperatures around pretty much your Big Bend region are around the same, 68 to 72 degrees. Fairly warm outside, but we will dip lower into tomorrow for tomorrow night, which we will talk about later. So this dew point, like I was saying before, 64 degrees in Tallahassee, make its way down to the coast around 61 degrees in Carabel and Apalachicola, making it feel more moist out, and this was different than the dry air that was in our area earlier. So with this moist air is because of all this cloud coverage making its way through our area, but hopefully these conditions will make its way out for tomorrow. So our current winds are coming from the Gulf, but just light winds, 2 miles per hour over in St. Mark's, all the way down to 5 miles per hour in Apalachicola. Nothing too serious though for our winds, but something that is more serious is our warning. So over into Apalachicola, we have a flood warning, so making its way all the way through up that Apalachicola River. So they are experiencing plenty of rain right now. Be careful if you are out on the roads and if you're driving with that flood warning. So our current winds making its way through our area, you can kind of see that clockwise flow around your Big Bend region over into Thursday around 3 p.m. where it kind of stall out up until Friday, where it's finally making its way back up over into Saturday. But we are going to have those light winds persist throughout the next few days. But for tonight, we are making our way down from 66 degrees all the way down to 61 degrees. These cloudy conditions will remain, but it's going to have a pretty muggy night out for you. So these temperatures throughout the whole Big Bend region making its way into Georgia, 59 degrees, 58 degrees over in Tallahassee. Mostly cloudy outside though. And our Thursday's forecast is nice and warm. 78 degrees over in Tallahassee, and Perry, being our warmest spot, is around 79 degrees, so everyone is feeling pretty warm outside. But we have similar temperatures coming the week ahead. Look at that, 78 into Thursday, 81 over into Friday. But these are the cooler temperatures I was talking about where you may need a jacket, all the way into Saturday and Sunday where you may need umbrella. But these temperatures are going to continue moving its way into warmer conditions throughout the majority of Florida. But I'll take these warm conditions. I really like the warmer conditions. Going to the pool, head out to the beach this weekend, or go out to some of the events we are having. Because there's no rain, there are plenty of opportunities for you to get outside and enjoy the Florida sun because we are the Sunshine State. But let's take a look at that week ahead. So the majority of our temperatures are in the 70s, all the way into the 80s, maybe into Wednesday, 83 degrees of next week. But these cooler temperatures will persist over into the night, into the mornings. But make sure you follow us on all of our social media accounts. But for now, I'm student meteorologist Sammy Squires. Have a good night.